Hello and welcome to the International Daily Roundup by People's Dispatch, where we bring you some of the major news developments from across the world. The results of the Israeli general election are rolling in, with over 90% results reported so far. This is the third general election to the Israeli parliament or the Knesset in less than a year. Benjamin Netanyahu's Likud and his allies have considerably increased their share of seats and have come closest to the majority mark with 59 seats. The joint list, representing pro-Arab and left-wing parties, have also increased their vote share. To talk more about this, we have with us Abdul. Abdul, thank you for joining us. So, could you first take us through the immediate results that are coming out? What are the broad trends that are coming out with respect to the major parties?
After the counting of around 90 to 95% of the votes, as per the latest results, you can say that 59, which includes the Likud alliance, which includes Likud and Shas and United Torah, Judaism and Yamina, all together have 59 seats, which is too short
Too short of the majority.
Yeah. Then the Blue and White Alliance has 39 seats.
Okay.
If we exclude the Arab Joint List, which has 15 seats this time.
Okay.
Again, this time also, as it was the case in the last election, Lieberman's Israel with Neo party has around 7 seats, which will be key to basically to any new formation of government.
Right. So, but this puts Netanyahu as a much greater advantage than the previous two elections because he's just 2 seats short. And I think Lieberman is not okay with forming an alliance with the joint list. So, that probably leaves only one possibility that we see.
I'm not that hopeful for Netanyahu, primarily because of the 2 reasons. The statement which was given by Lieberman during when the counting was happening, that he is not ready to compromise on his previous position,
Right.
which was vis-a-vis in terms of the Likud alliance, that if there are ultra-right-wing, ultra-religious groups within the Likud alliance, he said, I don't know what will happen in the future, but he said he is not going to support the same alliance.
Right.
So yes, he has objections with Arab Joint List forming government with Blue and White, but he also has as strong opposition to the religious parties joining hands with Likud.
Right.
So it is not clear. If you remember, in last April elections, Likud had a support of 60 MPs out of 120, which was one short of majority. But again, that time also, Lieberman refused to support him.
Right.
So we do not know.
Right. And this is a almost unusual occurrence considering elections across the world, that there are 3 rounds of elections and not a single. So in some ways it also demonstrates the fractures in that Israeli politics is seeing today, because having 3 successive elections without even one alliance coming close to majority is unprecedented. So could you talk a bit about the situation that
there are there can be many reasons, but 2 primary reasons behind this. Of course, the kind of electoral system Israel has, which is based on proportional representation, and in that polity where all the political parties have, despite the fact that there is a macro agreement on the position of Palestine vis-a-vis Palestine and the minorities, but apart from that, there are other differences, primarily because whether the polity should be what should be the role of religion in the polity and what should not be. That is one major, you can say, the division. The second thing is, in almost last 2-3 years, Netanyahu, there is a greater polarization against Netanyahu, primarily because he was in power for quite a long. He is in power for quite long, and that has created a kind of set of people who basically have, for various reasons, for personal, for political reasons, who basically see him as a polarizing personality. One. Second, there is a corruption charge against him. So all these basically, in fact, if you see his former allies, who is the leader of the main opposition alliance, Blue and White, is basically, he came out from the coalition, from the same government, Netanyahu's government, primarily because of the reasons that he is seen as polarizing, he is seen as dominating, and the corruption charges against Netanyahu. So there can be many reasons. One more thing I should add, that the fragmentation in Israeli politics is also a reflection of the weakening of the left in at least last 30 years post 1990s, the diminishing role of Labour Party in the Israeli election, in Israeli polity, is one of the reasons that there is no counter to the assertive right-wing politics in Israel.
Thank you so much, Abdul. In our next story, we go to Iraq, where the caretaker Prime Minister Adel Abdul Mahdi announced his unwillingness to continue in office. The decision comes a day after Mahdi's successor and Prime Minister designate Mohammad Tawfiq Alawi resigned. The move has created a vacuum in the country's political leadership. Alawi, who was designated to be the new Prime Minister last month, failed to win parliamentary confidence within the March 1st deadline. He withdrew his candidature after the parliament failed to meet, despite being called to vote on a confidence vote twice. Alawi has accused the opposition parties for obstructing his ascent to the prime ministership. Most of the political formations and alliances in the Iraqi parliament chose to not attend the meeting on Sunday. They cited Alawi's refusal to consult them before the formation of his cabinet. Alawi has claimed that he is trying to address the concerns of the protesters by forming a cabinet of technocrats. The move was not favoured by most of the political groups in parliament. Alawi is considered to be close to the Sairun alliance led by Muqtada al-Sadr, which is the largest political bloc in the parliament. Sairun's leadership has been opposed by Sunni and Kurdish political blocs, which has been the reason for long-standing deadlock in parliament. President Barham Saleh now takes over the duties of the Prime Minister and will have 15 days to appoint a new Prime Minister. He, however, faces a tough task ahead given the pressure from protesters who are demanding a break from the established political leadership of the country. That's all we have in this episode of the International Daily Roundup. To read more about these stories, visit our website peoplesdispatch.org and follow us on Facebook, Twitter and Instagram.